Live from Red Zone Weather, this is a severe weather alert.
A tornado outbreak is happening across Alabama at this hour. A particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch now in place for parts of Washington, Clark, and Wilcox counties locally. We have several tornado warnings currently happening as of 2:32 p.m. Fortunately, none of those warnings are happening in southwest Alabama or across northwest Florida. But I do want to show you the warnings as they stand right now. Let's go back over to LD2 and show you that a tornado outbreak is in progress across the state. At this moment, let's take down the banner. And again, at this moment, we've got tornado warnings. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tornado warnings in place for parts of central Alabama. At the moment, no local tornado warnings for any part of our local area in South Alabama or Northwest Florida. You've got parts of northern Jefferson, southeastern Walker, Coosa County, also parts of Tuscaloosa County. A brand new warning just popping on the board for parts of Talladega, Clay and Coosa counties there in East Alabama. You've also got multiple warnings in place for Marengo County, including Linden and Sweetwater. Closer to home, let's go back over to LD1 because we do have storms firing over in West Alabama at this point as of 2:33 p.m. Tornado warning in progress just north of Thomasville. We'll zoom in here first because at this moment, the city of Thomasville is not under a tornado warning. But just to the north of there, just to the north along U.S. Highway 43, we do have a tornado warning in progress from basically the county line north of Thomasville. U.S. Highway 43 points north. Dixon's Mills is right here. This is Sweetwater. You got the community of Aimwell, which sits just to the east of the Tombigbee River in southern Marengo County. If you are near those three places, Dixon's Mills, Sweetwater, also Aimwell, Linden, and Thomaston, those areas under the gun from a possible tornado right in through here, moving to the northeast. So that is tornado warning number 1. That one is impacting Marengo County. Let's actually go back over to LD2 if we can, please. And we will go up into the Birmingham area just to show you that we do have multiple warnings up here as well. Again, no warnings for southern Alabama south of Clark County as of 2:35 p.m. I do note, however, we have a new warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, we'll talk about the tornado warnings up here first. And let's see if we can turn on the radar data because this is a situation where you have a classic hook echo right here that's going to move just to the southeast of Tuscaloosa. If you are on the campus or you know someone on the campus of the University of Alabama, those folks need to be sheltered. Same thing at the Alabama Fire College, which is south of Tuscaloosa here near Taylorville and also near Shelton State, down there south of Interstate 5920. That is a classic tornado signature moving for Tuscaloosa. That's going to be a big deal for Cottondale and areas out here on the eastern side of town near Coaling. Again, that's in Tuscaloosa. Let's go back over to LD1 because we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning across the local area. And so again, we've moved farther to the south than where we were just a second ago. This is Washington County, this is Choctaw County, and this is Clark County. You've got a rotating thunderstorm very near Coffeyville right now. And that has been classified as a severe thunderstorm, meaning it could be producing gusty winds and also hail up to the size of, say, dimes or even nickels or quarters, right in through here over Coffeyville. This is going to move just like this, and on that trajectory, it's going to be basically paralleling Alabama Highway 154, which connects Thomasville all the way back down here to Coffeyville. This cell is moving just like that. Tallahassee Springs, you've also got Springfield, McIntyre, Opine, right in through here. That's the Scotch Wildlife Management Area. All those areas about to have heavy rain, and we're watching this cell because it may ramp up and produce a tornado in just a bit. In fact, on that note, we have our first tornado warning of the day. This is a new tornado warning locally for Clark County. So this cell that I've just been talking about in West Alabama, this is now a tornado warning, and I would imagine that's going to include the city of Thomasville. The Weather Service noting that this possible tornado is very near Coffeyville at this point. And so what we are doing, we are shifting now from a situation where we have not had a tornado warning locally. We now do over in West Alabama. And this is a tornado warning that is on the board, let's see here, until 3:15 p.m. Again, current time is 2:37 p.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson. This is actually our first tornado warning of the year 2021 here in our local area. And this is for Clark County in West Alabama exclusively at this point. Again, many other warnings happening across the state of Alabama. We also have had some damage photos come in from just across the border over in Mississippi over the last little bit. But our concern for now is in Clark County. I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty in just a minute after we get out our Red Zone Weather app alert so that we can give you the very latest on what is happening in Clark County. Possible tornado very near Coffeyville at this point. And this cell is moving off to the northeast at a rapid clip. I mean, it's going to be on the doorsteps of Thomasville, Alabama, very shortly, in about 15 minutes or so. So again, Thomasville, everybody in Thomasville, you need to get sheltered right now, no doubt about it, as we have a tornado very near Coffeyville at this point, a possible tornado, I should say. And let's get in there and look at the nitty-gritty because we'll tell you who's in and who's out. First of all, on our system here, let's go back over to the watch warning map. There we go. And we'll zoom in. So this is northern Clark County. Just to set the stage for you, this is going to be north of U.S. Highway 84. 84 is right in through here. This is U.S. Highway 43. This is Alabama Highway 154, that squiggly line that you see right in through there. And again, for folks in Thomasville, you need to get to that tornado-safe place. We will show you exactly what that means in just a minute. But again, lowest floor, site-built structure away from windows and doors. Possible tornado is back here. If you are near Opine, Tallahassee Springs, the south side of Thomasville, which is down there on the industrial park, points north to downtown, back over to Walmart, which is on the north side of town. You got the cemetery back behind Walmart. All those areas need to be sheltered in northern Clark County, as this is a tornado warning polygon now in place, and this warning is active until 3:15 at local time. Let's actually go to the graphics for our friends in Clark County, because this is the first time that we have had a tornado warning in the year 2021. Thomasville, Tallahassee Springs, Opine. You've also got Coffeyville and areas near the Scotch Wildlife Management Area. All those areas need to be implementing this plan right now. Lowest floor of a site-built structure away from windows and doors, putting as many walls as you possibly can between you and the outside world. Best possible thing on this list, grab a helmet. Doesn't matter specifically what kind of helmet, but something to protect your head. As we go back over to LD1, northern Clark County, under the gun from a potential tornado. We'll turn on the radar data and look at this. And your possible tornado is actually going to be on the back side of this large supercell thunderstorm. This has really come together over the last few minutes, and this also could be a hail-producing storm. Large hail up to the size of quarters will be possible in areas along the Alabama Highway 154 corridor and points just to the north of there out towards Opine in the next 5 minutes. I'm telling you, today is not a day that you want to waste any time. You do have, say, 5 minutes or so in Thomasville, but I need you to make it happen and get sheltered. This is an atmospheric setup that is extremely volatile and supportive of severe storms. And go back over to the graphics, because I do want to show you this updated high risk that we now have in place all the way down basically to the northern part of our local area. Choctaw, Marengo, Perry, Dallas counties have been added to this rare level 5 out of 5 high risk. The last time this happened in the state of Alabama was back on April 28th of 2014. So 7 years ago. That's how rare this is for the Deep South. You don't get these every day. Let's go back over to LD1 and we'll show you the velocity data on this. Because right in through there, you see that darker shade of green, lighter shade of green. That lets us know that there's a couplet in that area. And when I say couplet, that means that this storm is rotating. The Weather Service just now sending a message saying that the tornado-warned storms in Choctaw and Clark counties have very impressive reflectivity signatures. That means that the odds are increasing. If there's not a tornado down with this, there could be imminently. So again, folks in Coffeyville, I would hang out in that tornado-safe place for the next 5 minutes or so. You've also got McIntyre right there along Alabama Highway 154. Imminently under threat from a potential developing tornado down near Coffeyville right now, lifting off to the northeast. So McIntyre, Tallahassee Springs, Opine, be in that safe place. We also want to remember our folks up in central Alabama. Let's go up to LD2, please, sir, because Clark County has a warning. You've also got a possible tornado very near or just south of the city of Tuscaloosa. If you have a student, a son or a daughter that attends the University of Alabama, or maybe the Alabama Fire College or Shelton State College down here south of Interstate 5920, call them, let them know they're under a tornado warning, and that signature is also quite impressive. Another warning in place south of Talladega, north of Rockford. This is going to be to the northwest of Lake Martin for parts of Coosa, Talladega, Clay, and also just to the northwest of Tallapoosa County. They're in central Alabama. And I tell you what, Marengo and Choctaw, they have really had a time over the last hour. Numerous tornado warnings in this particular corridor, and another warning now in place for Gilbertown and Butler over in Choctaw County on the western bank of the Tombigbee River. Let's go back over to LD1, please, because I do want to show you this rotation tracker product, if we can pull that up. Quickly check on the debris. I don't see a debris signature there. That certainly is a good thing. But on a day like today, you've got to be ready to get to a safe place very quickly, just like what has happened over here in Clark County. Again, a tornado warning now in place for northern Clark County. Let's actually show you the whole county. Clark County is a very large county over here in West Alabama. And the beauty of the polygon system, you've heard me say this time and time again, we include folks who are involved in a warning, and the Weather Service leaves folks out who are not under any danger. And so that's why you have this tornado warning polygon. And if you are in this red zone, that's where you take action. Grove Hill, Jackson, also areas near Toddtown, Gainestown, Watley. All of those areas are okay right now. Your tornado warning is on the northern part of Clark County right now. And again, we are encouraging everyone in the city of Thomasville, no matter where you are, if you have a Thomasville, Alabama mailing address, you need to get sheltered immediately, as this possible tornado is down here now just to the northeast of Coffeyville. You just saw the new scan from the radar lifting off to the northeast. On that trajectory, it looks like this thing is going to be a bit to the east of Morven and also of Campbell, which is back over here in the western part of the county. But what that means is if you are in Thomasville, you are under the gun directly from this possible tornado in Clark County. And Bruce, if you'll take me to my laptop, please. I want to show you an image. We actually shared this on Facebook a bit ago. I think this is a good representation of what you're going to get today. If you have a tornado warning, most of the tornadoes are going to look like this. This was taken by Garrett Mahan up just north of Autaugaville in Autauga County, Alabama. That's south of Clanton. That's northwest of Prattville, northwest of Montgomery. Big, bad tornado in parts of Autauga County that crossed U.S. Highway 82 earlier this afternoon. Take me back to LD1, please. And again, tracking this possible tornado in Clark County at this point. I should mention as well, on a day like today, we need you to tag folks. If you know someone in this tornado warning box over in West Alabama, you need to let them know about this possible tornado that's very near the community of McIntyre right now, lifting off to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. That means that the city of Thomasville could have tornado issues in about 10 minutes or even less than that if this thing speeds up a bit. And so tracking this cell in Clark County, let's also look at our cells that are developing out ahead of this main batch. You've also got smaller cells developing in the eastern part of Clark. This is actually near Cyrene along the old line road in the eastern part of Clark County. Several showers also in progress here in Monroe County near Frisco City and Excel south of Monroeville. You've also got a downpour actually on the eastern side of Monroeville. All those are under severe limits at this point. So we're not expecting imminent development of these storms, but no doubt about it, these will be cells to watch as they lift off to the northeast, because they could briefly ramp up and become strong in the next, say, hour or so. And I use the word briefly. Today is actually a day, if you get a tornado down, most likely it's going to last for a very long time. Long track, potentially violent tornadoes will be possible not only this afternoon, but also into the evening hours. I do think when we get to this evening and that line of storms moves through, the focus will shift perhaps from a tornado risk more to a damaging wind risk. But as of now, these isolated supercell thunderstorms are certainly dangerous and potentially producing tornadoes back over here in West Alabama. Here's one tornado warning. This is for northern Clark County. You've also got another possible tornado just to the west of Gilbertown, or very near Gilbertown at this point, moving off to the northeast like that. That is Alabama Highway 17. US 84 is right in through here. That's Alabama Highway 154. This thicker line you see right there, that's US Highway 43. And in all of those areas, we would advise no travel at this point, as we have multiple tornadic supercells in West Alabama that are capable of producing tornadoes that could be quite damaging. In fact, we'll zoom in real tight on the velocity here. And your possible tornado at this point is very near the community of McIntyre, lifting off to the northeast like that. We'll kind of pan downstream a bit. And if you are near the community of Tallahassee Springs, you got Tallahassee Springs Road right in through here to the west of Thomasville. Be sheltered. It can't be stressed enough. Also, Midway, that is a community that sits just to the west of Thomasville out here near 154. If you are at Midway, please be sheltered. Same thing for the city of Thomasville. I don't know, Bruce, the school situation over in Thomasville. I want to say that Thomasville dismissed early today based on something I read yesterday. If you'll check on that in the comments. But if by chance the Thomasville City Schools were in session today and they did not release early, those buses have got to hold. They cannot be out on the roads at this point, as a possible tornado is going to come in through here, especially near and just to the west, potentially, of the city of Thomasville. So buses should be completely off the roads at this point as we track this possible tornado in the northern part of Clark County. And look, this is in a very rural area, a rural part of Clark County. Clark County is already a rural county as it is, but specifically this area, I mean, the population density out in through here is just very, very low. Once this approaches Thomasville and gets towards Tallahassee Springs, Midway, and the city of Thomasville, that's when we will know most likely if this thing is indeed producing a tornado. And I see back behind me, you've also got another storm. This is separate. This is over in Choctaw County, Alabama Highway 17 near Gilbertown. This one is also lifting to the northeast. And so on that trajectory, that may potentially be a problem in about 30 minutes for also northwestern Clark out here for Campbell, Morven, maybe even Cunningham and Woods Bluff. So that would be a separate situation. We'll be watching that. But clearly the main concern right now is in north central Clark County. And I know it doesn't look like much, but that little blip could be a tornado. In fact, let's go over to the high resolution velocity display, Bruce, if we can. That's the iPad. There we go. And again, just to set your bearings straight, this is northern Clark County right in through here, tracking that right there. That is a potential tornado that is lifting off to the northeast, going to impact Thomasville in about 15 minutes or so. Current time is 2:51 p.m. I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson, joined alongside executive producer Bruce Thompson on this level 5 out of 5 high-risk day for communities just to our north as a tornado outbreak continues. Let's go back over to the LD2 product, please, sir. There we go. And we'll show you that across the state of Alabama, a tornado outbreak does continue. You have a tornado warning in place for parts of Tuscaloosa County. Another separate tornado warning in place for northern Jefferson County, north of the city of Birmingham. You've also got a warning in place for this supercell storm that is currently moving into areas just to the southwest of Mount Cheaha there in parts of Talladega, Clay, and Coosa County. So 1, 2, 3, and then closer to home, the entirety of Marengo County continues under a tornado warning, and that includes Linden, Thomaston. You've also got Dayton, also areas here at Sweetwater involved in that tornado warning. Another warning in place for Choctaw County. You see that classic kidney bean shape right in through there for Choctaw County. That is ultimately going to be a problem for Marengo County in about 30 minutes. So Marengo County just getting hit from all angles. And I'll tell you too, this thing in Clark County, as we go back over to LD1, is ramping up. It's going to be a problem for Marengo County as well in about 20 minutes or so. But before we get there, McIntyre, Opine, Tallahassee Springs, Thomasville. Those are the communities under the gun from this possible tornado. Be in a safe place. By the way, for folks that are back behind this, we can give a tornado all clear at this point to Coffeyville. You may have other issues later, but if you are in Coffeyville, we can give you a tornado warning all clear for now because the danger has clearly passed to your northeast. That possible tornado is out on Alabama Highway 154, very near the community of McIntyre. Say that again? Oh, and that's good news. Thank you for confirming that. So the city of Thomasville, the city school system, I should say, released early. We did confirm that. And so I am so thankful to hear that we don't have buses on the road in northern Clark County. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. That was a great call on the part of the superintendent over there in Clark County for Thomasville City Schools. We'll zoom in again, northern Clark County under the gun from a possible tornado. And look, I wish we had, a sky cam in every single location. I wish we had spotters on the ground. We don't. And so at this point, unfortunately, we simply have the radar data to operate with. And that little blip right in through there, you see that shade of yellow and then this darker shade of red, that's your area of rotation that is about to be on top of the city of Thomasville, or perhaps just a little bit to the west of there. In fact, I think Midway, Tallahassee Springs, and areas on the north side of Thomasville may be at a greater risk from this particular storm that's lifting off to the northeast. And I see there's a new tornado warning that's just been issued for parts of Tuscaloosa County as well. In fact, take me back over to the iPad. We'll briefly look at that because I do know that we have many folks in our area who have sons and daughters at the University of Alabama on the campus there in Tuscaloosa. That is a nasty, I'm talking nasty tornado signature. Fortunately, it looks like this is going to miss Tuscaloosa proper just a bit to the southeast. This is a big issue for Coaling and Cottondale, but it looks like the core of this particular tornadic storm going to move just like that out towards the Mercedes plant, which is along Interstate 20, right in through here at Vance, and points north out towards Brookwood. Those are the areas under the gun next from this, which is a strong indication of a tornado there in central Alabama. Back over to LD1, we'll show you the reflectivity across the region just to kind of reset the scene here, because I know across much of our region, in fact, 95% of our local area here in South Alabama and Northwest Florida, we are okay, all right? There's no imminent tornado threat at this moment for 95% of us. The only major population center under siege from a tornado at this point locally is Thomasville in northern Clark County. Even south of there, Grove Hill, Jackson, Wagerville. You are okay. This is strictly an issue for McIntyre and also areas near Thomasville in northern Clark County. And if you look at this on reflectivity, you can kind of see that kidney bean shape that we often talk about. That lets us know that this thunderstorm is indeed rotating. And at the base of this, there could be a tornado. And I say base, back on the back rear flank is where you would expect this tornado to be. That right there, that darker shade of purple and dark red, that is likely a core of hail that is falling from the sky, perhaps in excess of the size of nickels or quarters. And so you've got your swath right in through here, just to the northeast, or northwest, I should say, of where the tornado is going to track. Hail and also a tornado risk for northern Clark at this point. Getting many, many questions about specifics about, what about this community? What about that community? And look, We want to answer all the questions. I promise I'll get to those in a minute. But the imminent danger at this moment is for the city of Thomasville in northern Clark County due to this supercell storm that's rapidly advancing off to the northeast. Cannot be stressed enough for folks in the city of Thomasville. Be in that safe place right now. Lowest floor, site-built structure, away from windows and doors. We want you to put as many walls as you possibly can between you and the outside world. If you can, grab something to put on your head, a makeshift helmet, a cooking pot, something to protect your head. Research proves time and time again that if you can protect your head in a tornado warning, that greatly increases your chance of survival, which is what we want. We want everyone to be safe and be happy, and unfortunately, for our friends in northern Clark County, hard to do that right now as we have a tornado warning. I see we got a new warning on the board, and this is actually a bit out of our area. Let's go back to, well, actually, there it is. This is a new tornado warning for parts of Perry and Dallas counties in central Alabama. The city of Marion, you've also got communities like Thomaston involved in this. Uniontown is right there, involved in an active tornado warning. This cell that's in Marengo County is outputting prolific lightning. I mean, there is just a ton of lightning just to the north of our local area with that cell that's currently over US Highway 80. But again, we are here. The focus for us is on Clark County. You've got another supercell storm over here in Choctaw County, but we want to focus on the one that's really getting down to business here in the northern part of Clark. Let's actually check on velocity on that. And I tell you, that has broadened out a bit on that particular signature, but with that said, there definitely could be a tornado, perhaps very near Opine at this point. And I apologize. That's actually storm relative velocity. I was looking at the wrong product there. Let's actually go over to the base velocity, kind of showing the same thing. So in other words, the trend is not down. It's pretty much the same. And what that means for you, if you are near Alabama Highway 154, from the community of McIntyre back up to Thomasville, you need to be in a safe place. We can say at this point, however, that Dickinson, Fulton, and also areas out here near Springfield, this tornado will miss you to the northwest, and that is a good thing. So again, Fulton, Dickinson, also areas to the south near Grove Hill, there is no longer a tornado threat, never was for Grove Hill, but for Fulton, Dickinson, basically from the industrial park south, we can give you a tornado all clear, as it looks like this possible tornado will pass near or just to the west of the city of Thomasville in northern Clark County. And I tell you, it has been a rough day already. We have had numerous sightings of wall clouds and tornadoes. Take my MacBook full, if you will. I want to share a video that we got from this area back over in Wayne County, Mississippi. And again, this is the type of views that you will have in these tornado warnings, most likely today. This is obviously a tornado happening over in Wayne County, Mississippi. We want to thank Shayna Hodge for sending me that. And I show you that to say there could be a situation in northern Clark County very near Opine that looks just like this. As we go back over to LD1, we'll zoom into northern Clark again. And I realize, you know, it sounds repetitive over and over again, northern Clark County, for folks that are watching the live stream in Thomasville. But for folks that are coming in and out, that is why we do the coverage. We know that folks, based on behavioral research, folks come in and out of our live stream. And so that's why we have to repeat ourselves. Again, this is northern Clark County. Possible tornado is very near Opine. By the way, McIntyre and points back to the southwest, all clear for you. So again, if you're in McIntyre or back to the southwest, Coffeyville, you can come out of that tornado hiding place at this point, as this possible tornado has cleared your area off to the northeast. Getting really tight in here. Again, giving you some geographical reference. This is US Highway 43, that thicker line that you see right in here. Alabama Highway 5 runs right in through here. This is going to be Alabama Highway 154, that line that you see right in through here. Thinking of Thomasville, some of the landmarks. You've got Walmart and the funeral home right here where the road splits from 43 into 5. If you are near that funeral home, if you are near Walmart, if you are near the automotive dealership, David's Catfish House, you've also got areas out here like the Sonic on the north side of Thomasville. All those areas need to be implementing that tornado safe place. Same thing at the Thomasville Nursing Home, which is on the north side of town here. on 43, just off of 43, I should say, be in that safe place. The residents at the Thomasville nursing home certainly should be in their hallways and taking shelter, as this possible tornado is very near Thomasville. It looks like, based on the trajectory of this, that the core of this may pass just to the west of Thomasville. But on a day like today, you've got to take it seriously and do something about it. And you know, again, even if it passes just a little bit to your west, this is so close that any veering to the right of the mean flow in through here, that could put the thing right on top of Thomasville. And so that's why the city of Thomasville remains in this tornado safe place. Back over to the iPad, please, and we'll show you what triggered this tornado warning. Again, this is northern Clark County putting this into motion. You see that little blip right in through there. It doesn't look like much on this signature to most people, but this is a classic indication of a possible tornado. It's a radar couplet. You're looking at the velocity display. I'll take you back over to the standard reflectivity view. And looking at that, you kind of see that hook echo shape on the last frame. We'll stop it as we stop the motion there. Right in through there, you can kind of see a hook on radar, and that may be where your possible tornado is at this point, at the base of that hook echo. And when I say hook, we'll back it up one frame so I can show you that briefly. Right in through there. That's the shape that we look for on reflectivity to let us know that this storm is indeed rotating. Let's go back over to LD1, please, and we'll show you the velocity. We're also tracking another tornado warning back over here in Choctaw County. This is Alabama Highway 17, and it looks like the core of this has now passed through Gilbertown, areas perhaps just to the north of Gilbertown along State Highway 17. This possible tornado, it looks like this is going to miss Clark County and move directly into Marengo. So what I expect to happen over the next 15 to 20 minutes, we probably will be able to give you a tornado all clear in about 15 minutes for northern Clark County, and then we will get a break for our local area, which is what we expect. A lull in activity over the next several hours is what we were kind of looking forward to ahead of the main batch of storms that's going to move by later this evening. I want to show you that main batch of storms because that is going to be the event that ends this whole mess of severe weather today. Once this main complex of storms clears through your area, Bruce, if you'll take me over to LD2, we have that ready at this point. There we go. And again, this is your main batch of storms. This will likely be strong or severe as it moves across our area later this evening. In fact, when this tornado warning ends, I'll show you the projected radar so you can get a good visual idea of exactly what to expect over the next few hours. But as of now, we've got to keep the coverage here over in West Alabama. As we go back over to LD1, zooming into that zone right there on that particular map and changing to velocity. You see an area of rotation here in Choctaw County. That's number 1. Here's number 2 in Marengo County. That is now past Sweetwater. A possible tornado moved very near Dixon's Mills at the intersection of Highway 43, US Highway 43, and Alabama Highway 10, which is your main east-west dragon through here in the southern side of Marengo and Wilcox counties. So that tornado warning is in effect for Thomaston. That's the next population center that could be affected by that tornado. And you're looking at northern Clark County here, where you have this possible tornado on the western side of Thomasville. Bruce, have you seen anything in the way of wall clouds or sightings or anything like that that would suggest this tornado is down? Nothing yet. Okay, and that is what we like to see. Hopefully there's nothing there, but the radar signature is certainly such that there could be a tornado touching the ground at this point in northern Clark County. Just looking down to see. Yeah, and I see several reports south of Tuscaloosa and really to the southeast of Tuscaloosa of that being a tornado on the ground at this point. And so, like we said, that tornado is going to be to the southeast of the core of Tuscaloosa, passing into areas like Cottondale, Coaling, and ultimately Brookwood. That's in Tuscaloosa County, about 200 miles north of our local area. But I say that to say we got a lot of folks who have students at the University of Alabama at this point. But again, we are here because of the threat for the city of Thomasville. Lots of folks watch our coverage in northern Clark County, and we thank you for being loyal viewers, and we want to absolutely provide the service that we need to because of this. This is a possible tornado coming into areas near Glover, and also this is going to be near Thomasville, coming into areas also near Atkinson, and also potentially, if it holds its strength, this could be an issue ultimately for, say, Sunny South, maybe even areas just south of Dixon's Mills in Marengo County. And I tell you, this thing is getting farther away from the radar beam. In fact, let's go over to the iPad and we'll check the height on that just to see how high this thing is in the atmosphere. And 84 miles away, but our question is exactly how high that beam is. So I'm going to show you right there. It's kind of hard to see, but that beam, this radar beam, is hitting this possible tornado producing thunderstorm at 8,000 feet. And unfortunately, this zone of West Alabama is where you have a hole of sorts, and you just don't have the low-level radar coverage that you need to be able to diagnose where there is a likely tornado down. Now, with that said, we certainly want to honor and respect this polygon that's in place for northern Clark County. Again, the call to action at this point is for Thomasville and areas out here near Glover and Tallahassee Springs. For McIntyre and Coffeyville, we gave you an all clear about 5 minutes ago. There is no more imminent tornado threat as we go back over to LD1. Back in Coffeyville. In fact, I see the Weather Service has updated the polygon here. Coffeyville is now out of a tornado warning, and that certainly is a good thing. McIntyre will be shortly, as this thing is now on the far northern part of Clark County. This is passing well to the north, by the way, of Grove Hill and Jackson, and so there is no concern right now, no imminent concern, I should say, for Grove Hill or the city of Jackson. Same thing at Toddtown, same thing at Watley along U.S. Highway 84 and Gosport from the Claiborne Lock and Dam. No, nothing for you right now. You are in the clear. The issues are at Thomasville and especially just to the west of Thomasville where we have this possible tornado. And again, y'all know the drill. If I go silent for a minute, just bear with me as I'm looking at 400 sources, seeing exactly what we've got going on. And the good news is, with this particular storm that we are tracking over in West Alabama, I have seen nothing in the way of damage at this point. Hopefully, we will be able to keep it that way. Again, these cells in central Alabama mean business. I'm talking this thing that's just to the east, or really on the eastern side of Tuscaloosa, out towards Coaling, Cottondale, and Brookwood, is a dangerous tornado signature. In fact, Bruce, take me back over there, because what's happening here, this tornado is on the ground, and it has, over the last several frames, been indicative of a potential debris signature. Sorry, I should have said that iPad is what we're looking for. There we go. Looking for the iPad. That's TweetDeck on the MacBook. There we go. And so again, your system is to the east of Tuscaloosa at this point, but I tell you, look at that. That right there is a classic hook echo on the eastern side of Tuscaloosa out towards Coaling and Brookwood. That thing is going to be a big deal for the community of Brookwood in central Alabama. Back over to LD2, please, and we'll show you the wide view across the entire state, because again, this is a tornado outbreak. This is a rare day, and we don't have too many of these level 5 out of 5 high risk days. The last one was April the 28th, 2014. You have a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch that continues until 7 o'clock tonight for all of the counties shaded in yellow. And before we leave you, once this thing in northern Clark County comes to an end, we will talk about the tornado watch. But I tell you, you've got a tornado warning in place for parts of Tuscaloosa, Jefferson. You've also got Blount County, parts of Talladega, Clay County, Perry, Dallas, Marengo, Choctaw, Clark. So what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Alabama counties have an active tornado warning as this tornado outbreak continues. Back over to LD1, because again, we are here because of this. Circulation center on the western side of Thomasville, moving like that to the northeast. We will know in a matter of moments if the Weather Service in Birmingham is going to extend this tornado warning into Marengo County. Once you cross into this area, that's Alabama Highway 10 right here. This is US Highway 43. This is Marengo County. This is northern Clark County here, and it looks like this is going to move into Marengo, very near the county line where US Highway 43 goes into Marengo County. So what we're telling you, no travel at this point on US Highway 43, I should say, north of Thomasville all the way up to Dixon's Mills. Same thing on Alabama Highway 5 from Pine Hill all the way back down to Thomasville. You can't be traveling on Highway 5 or Old Highway 5 from Thomasville all the way back over to areas near Sunny South. No travel right now on Old Highway 5. Same thing, by the way, no travel on Alabama Highway 10 from Dixon's Mills over to Pine Hill, as this possible tornado is going to move just like that into Marengo County in the next 5 minutes or so. And unfortunately, this is going to be, I'm afraid, the first of what could be several tornado warnings that happen later today. In fact, what we'll do, and again, folks in Thomasville, stay in that tornado safe place. This thing is likely about 1 to 2 miles west of Thomasville. Hang out in that tornado safe place until we give you an all clear. You may be hearing, you probably are hearing, I should say, lots of thunder, seeing some lightning, and in addition to the very heavy rain. But again, the core tornado risk, it appears, is happening near or just to the west of Thomasville. So on that note, let's actually go back over to the graphics, because I do want to show you the projected radar over the next few hours. Again, this tornado warning is happening in this level 4 risk. It's a classic example of why we say tornadoes will happen in the lower risk zones. There will be more, most likely, in the level 4, level 3, maybe even in the level 2 risks later this evening. Here's the projected radar, and this is actually valid. This model run was from 2 o'clock. You can see that what's going to happen over the next few hours, you may have a corridor of isolated supercell storms form perhaps on the eastern side of our region. So just because northern Clark is under the gun right now, other areas across our region will potentially have more issues as we get into the evening hours. This is going to be a long duration event, and it will not come to an end until that main line of storms passes through your particular location. That look is valid at 5 o'clock, and these could be potentially developing supercell storms capable of producing tornadoes, large hail, and gusty winds. Then, tonight, again, here's your timestamp. By midnight, this line of storms will approach West Alabama. As it does so, damaging straight line winds and tornadoes will be concerns. And then tomorrow morning, around 6 o'clock, it looks like all of the mess will be to our east, and another round of severe weather much farther to our east will happen. There's a level 4 out of 5 risk in place for parts of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. By the way, our weather tomorrow becomes much better. Back over to LD1, because in the next 5 minutes or so, we're going to have somewhat of a solution to this tornado warning. In fact, as I say that, let's see if the Weather Service has done something, because it looks like this tornado warning has been allowed to expire. I don't want to speak too soon. And I tell you, our NWS chat source has been so unreliable over the last few weeks. Unfortunately, that is not something you want to see, especially in the middle of an outbreak. That's controlled by the folks in Washington, D.C., of course. And so, certainly not something you want to see, but our communication with them is now down. We'll go back over to LD1, and here we are. Because of this, the tornado warning has come to an end for parts of Clark County at this particular moment. But as a course of least regret, if you are in Thomasville, I would recommend, just for the next 2 to 3 minutes, hang out in that tornado safe place, and then we should be able to give you an all clear in about 3 minutes. And so, again, looking at a situation where it appears that this tornado warning has been canceled, although I'm seeing some, or allowed to expire, I should say, I'm seeing some conflicting information. And there's the confirmation. Yes, this tornado warning is now off of the board. And so that certainly is a good thing. If you are in Thomasville, yes, you're probably hearing thunder, seeing lightning, heavy rain at times over the last several minutes, but the core tornado risk in northern Clark County appears to have lessened to the point where the Weather Service is allowing this warning to expire. And so on that note, let's talk about the whole region. We'll zoom out and show you what's happening. And I'll tell you, Bruce, actually, if you'll take me over to LD2 while I reset this, because I want to be able to highlight the whole region as it stands. Again, look at this map. Man, oh man, you've got, let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, now 4, down to 4. We were up to 10 counties a bit ago, but now we have 4 active tornado warned cells across Alabama involved in this particularly dangerous situation tornado watch that's going to continue until 7 o'clock. The first cell is happening in Choctaw County, very near and just south of Butler. You've also got another cell very near Uniontown, which is along the U.S. Highway 80 corridor in central Alabama, Dallas, and Perry counties. This storm passed on the eastern side of Tuscaloosa and is now right over Brookwood. That is arguably the most dangerous storm at this particular moment. We'll zoom into those areas. By the way, the good thing is over here in Talladega and Clay County, that storm has weakened. Tornado warning for the northern part of Jefferson County, out here towards the community of Morris, coming into Aniana. You've also got a very, very strong signature of a tornado on the eastern side of Tuscaloosa County, but the city of Tuscaloosa and the city of Northport is now without a tornado warning. So look at that. I mean, man, oh man, that is a classic hook echo. There is likely a violent tornado happening in the eastern part of the county of Tuscaloosa in west central Alabama. A likely large violent tornado is happening there. Go back over to LD1. What our plan of action is over the next few hours. We are going to continue to watch these developing cells in West Alabama, and if by chance we get another tornado warning, we will come straight back on Facebook Live and bring you the very latest. More storms are expected to pop up over the next few hours. In fact, you can kind of see the beginning of that there in parts of Conecuh and Escambia counties in Alabama. That right there is a heavier downpour of rain on Appleton Road. You've also got sprinkles happening in Evergreen, Castleberry, back over to Belleville and areas near Repton as well. So clearly this is the next area that could be potentially under the gun from this tornado outbreak over the next few hours. Not saying a tornado is going to happen in these specific counties necessarily, but it is a possibility. So please remain weather aware over the next few minutes. Again, a particularly dangerous situation, a PDS tornado watch, does continue for Washington, Clark, Wilcox, Marengo, Choctaw, Dallas, Lowndes, Montgomery counties, points north. I expect that another tornado watch will be issued a bit later for the remainder of our local area as the atmosphere becomes increasingly more unstable. And before we get out of your hair, let me mention as well that we do have a flash flood warning that's going to last for several hours. You know, yesterday, parts of Washington and Clark County had upwards of 3 and 4 inches of rain, and you're seeing the effects of these new storms dropping more in the way of heavy rain. And that's why NWS Mobile has issued a flash flood warning for Choctaw, northern Clark, and the far northern part of Washington counties here in West Alabama. Again, a tornado watch continues until 7 o'clock. This is not over. I can't stress it enough. More updates coming in the Red Zone Weather app. We will see you soon.